Two-time Olympic and world champion Yuzuru Hanyu is ready to reclaim his crown at the World Figure Skating Championships on home ice in Saitama, Japan. The 24-year-old Japanese superstar's season has been nagged by an ankle injury, but he's healthy now and ready to strike gold in front of his adoring fans. But all eyes are firmly set on Hanyu as his journey to reclaim his world crown begins today. He is arguably the most popular figure skater in the history of the country. Yuzuru Hanyu is a pop idol in Japan. This is his home ice. But for now, the American day number 2 from Saitama, Japan. I'm Scott Russell. This arena was filled for the appearance of the Japanese women yesterday, led by Kaori Sakamoto and Rika Kahira. Today, it will be electric for the appearance of their Olympic champion, Yuzuru Hanyu. He's been injured most of the season. He missed the Grand Prix final, he missed the national championships, and he missed 4 continents. But the Japanese Federation was not going to let their Olympic champion miss the home World Championships. That, and Hanyu does not back down from a fight. He'll get one, though, from his younger American rival, Nathan Chen. Here's how it sets up. Hanyu is 24 years of age. He's twice been the Olympic champion, twice the world champion. He won his first world title right here in Saitama in 2014. Meantime, Nathan Chen is not yet 20. He won the World Championships in Milan last year. He swept the Grand Prix season this year, including the final in Vancouver. He won his 3rd consecutive American title, and then he won 4 continents in Anaheim. He holds the hot hand. But this will be a hothouse for Yuzuru Hanyu. And the Japanese fans love his story. Ever since that earthquake in his hometown of Sendai in 2011, Hanyu has been able to battle back. And they think he can do it again today.
Yes, because he will be advancing to the free. Coming up, the final flight. These are some of the best male skaters in the world, and they're in Japan.
You know, Asia first hosted the World Figure Skating Championships in 1977 in Tokyo. In the time since, Japan has hosted 7 times, more than any other country with the exception of Canada. They love figure skating here. They have a huge fan base. It's very devout. They have plenty of superstars, and the media attention is enormous in Japan. Takafumi Yoshida writes figure skating for Kyoto News, and they're calling this the golden age of Japanese skating. Why?
Because 2005, Mao Asada won the Grand Prix final, and 2006, Shizuka Arakawa with the Trino Olympic. And it became popular in Japan, this sport. And there's a consistency of big stars: Mao Asada, Shizuka Arakawa, Daisuke Takahashi, Yuzuru Hanyu. There's the consistency.
Consistency is right. I'm glad you mentioned Yuzuru Hanyu, that man right there. He is without question the biggest star in the country. What is it about him?
He has a big story because in 2011 there's a big earthquake in Japan. He was in Sendai and he couldn't train at home rink, and he go to another city, and he won the 2014 Sochi Olympic, and 2018 he became the back-to-back champion, overcomes accidents or injuries, those things, and he's a complete skater.
And he's a pop star in this country.
Yes.
Listen, thanks so much for doing this, Mr. Yoshida, and enjoy the championships.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Here's a look at the final flight. Skaters taking to the ice here. Yuzuru Hanyu of Japan, the first to skate out, followed by compatriot Shoma Uno as well. Those are most definitely the crowd favorites. And how about Yuzuru, 2-time Olympic and 2-time world champion?
Complete skater, described him. And I gotta tell you, the first time I competed in Japan, and this was before the explosion of the sport in Japan, and even back then, the first time I competed, as I went around the corner building up speed for my big jump at the other end, I was actually shocked by the wave of sounds of the cameras going click, 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 click. It's unbelievable tension, and if you're not prepared for it, it'll throw you right off your game.
You are definitely a rock star in Japan if you are a figure skater. Let's head back to the rink now with Brenda Irving.
You know, Yuzuru Hanyu not only draws a crowd when he's competing, but also when he's just practicing. The other day we were in this very arena and several thousand fans showed up just to watch him do that practice. That included a couple hundred reporters and photographers. And afterwards, Yuzuru held a press conference where he announced that he is 100% after taking 4 months away from competition because of an ankle injury. And the Japanese media pressed him about whether he's going to stick around for the next Olympic Games, and his response was, you know, I can't think about it right now because I'm singularly focused on the task at hand, and that is winning another world title.
And there is Yuzuru Hanyu, who for the first time ever won both of his Grand Prix assignments. He's been around for a while, but as Brenda said, he's been out since then with his ankle injury.
He says he's 100%, but how can you really be 100% when it's been so long since you've competed? It looks great, he's skating great. Practices have been, you know, somewhat hit and miss, but that's him.
But you're talking about him like he's a normal person, and he's not. He's Yuzuru Hanyu, and he's almost a breed unto himself.
He's ethereal, actually.
Yes.
He really
yes. Preternaturally talented.
He can just decide to win.
Yes.
Well, you saw it in his eyes when he stepped out onto the ice. It was just like he was on another planet. I mean, he acknowledged that his name was called, and he acknowledged the fans, but he is already getting into character. Lens right there. But let's get a little bit more into the internal competition between Yuzuru Hanyu and Shoma Uno, because you mentioned Shoma Uno is learning how to win, but nationals, 4 continents, he's taken those titles when Hanyu has not been in the competition. It almost feels like this is Shoma's time to prove he belongs.
Well, I mean, you want to win, but you all want to win. You always want to win against the best.
Oh, yeah.
When they skate their best, that's when it's a true victory. And I think Shoma is he's an artist first, but I think a near second, he seems like a sportsman. The guy likes to fight. He never backs down. He always throws every jump. He rotates. He hardly ever pops. He's a fighter. But Nathan's going to school and
Yes.
doing this. And I think that I heard an interview where he said that this has made skating not as important. It's not everything in my life. I've got new friends, and I totally applaud and take my hat off to him for being able to do it, but even wanting to. That's a really good role model.
Yeah, he's attending Yale University, and there is the Canadian Keegan Messing, was at his first Worlds last year and had a top 10 finish. He was an 8th and earned his first Grand Prix medal this season.
He just brings the fun to figure skating.
Brings the joy. He looks like everything he does sparks joy in him. He's like the Marie Kondo of skating, you know. He doesn't, everything he does is done with such commitment, and he can jump. Oh boy.
He can, and he says he wants to push himself this year, experiment with some new things, because it is the first of a 4-year cycle to the next Olympics. And as mentioned, it's been a whirlwind of a year. Went to his first Olympics, his first Worlds, and he is having a blast. Here he is with Brenda Irving. Here is the order of go. The skaters we're bringing you in this final flight. And Yuzuru Hanyu, for the first time, as I mentioned, in his Grand Prix career, he won both of his assignments, but it came at a price. In his second event in Russia, he injured his ankle in training, still went on to compete and win. But you just knew right there, the look on his face, he was thinking, uh-oh, something is up. And even though he did go on to win, we just see a little bit of wobbling, but wobbling according to his standards. So he has not been in competition since November. No Grand Prix final, no nationals, no 4 continents. But you heard what he said, he's 100%.
That was a quad loop that he probably under-rotated and hurt, like twisted the ankle and came down short of the rotation and injured himself. 100%. I'm glad to hear him say that. We as a sport want him at his best.
The crowd love him. He is a 4-time national champion, 2-time world champion, 2-time Olympic champion.
king in his courtyard, skating at home. Quad sow. No. That is a bigger mistake than it looked. Double sow cow, not an element in the short program. He will not get any points whatsoever for that effort.
It could potentially cost him about 14 points when you factor in the base value and the grade of execution that he could have gotten. So absolutely dreadful error.
He has 3 jumping passes in a row. This one needs to be in combination. Planned quad toe, triple toe. Big height. Little fight. But he did it. Now he'll be chasing every single level. He'll want level 4 in every spin, every step sequence.
Yuzuru Hanyu of Japan won his first Olympic gold in 2014, becoming the first Japanese man to do so. And cue the Winnie the Pooh Bears.
To quickly explain that, he had a Kleenex box that was made out of a Winnie the Pooh dude, and it grew from there.
And it just grew.
Actually,
like Topsy.
I guess I should have explained that, right? It I kind of figure people just know why Winnie the Pooh's being thrown out on the ice.
Yeah, the Kleenex box has a Twitter account. It's very funny, by the way. Not funny is the fact that he left out a whole element, and Carol explained that his quality of his jumps means that, yes, he could have got 13 or 14 points there, which by the rules of the short program, when you don't do any aspect of a combination or triple, only a double sow cow, it just literally, it's as if you did nothing.
Doesn't count.
Just not what the shopping list ordered.
I do wonder, I know he says he's fully fit, and he didn't appear to be struggling physically.
Oh, there you go, a little squeeze for luck.
With the poo. But he did do all his 3 jumping passes back to back at the beginning, and I wonder if that was a strategic decision. He wanted to make sure he got those done early on, just in case he isn't, totally feeling 100%. Planning the program is hugely important.
That was a big close-up of the double. 0.7 meters, that's the number that's impressive. Not very long and not much speed coming out, actually, compared to some of the others, but 0.7, I think that's pretty high. And it was hard, again, with a huge glaring error at the beginning. It's always hard for the skater, and it's hard for the judges, everybody, to just forget that and enjoy the rest at the World Championships. It's not an exhibition, it's a competition, and dude, you just made a big mistake.
He was all business after that, though. He made sure that he didn't leave any other points on the table. He was very, very sharp. I wonder if he may have struggled on the warm-up, even not being able to get enough quad sal attempts in.
Enough. I didn't see him. May I have missed it, but I didn't see him try one, which
No.
sometimes just the patterns of the skaters on the ice
Makes life very
makes
difficult.
life very difficult, and that may have got into his head. I don't know, but it's a split. It's less than a split second.
Yeah.
That decision of knowing that everything's right and I can pull in on 4. And
It's the go, no go,
He
right?
didn't get the go button, and what are you gonna do?
Well, the last year or so, he's kept fans on the edge of their seats because he had a catastrophic injury as well last year. We didn't think he'd be in the Olympics, but he returned and won it. And then once again, this ankle injury that's kept him out of competition since November. But he will be looking to beat 94.17 to stay in the top of the group here, and he'll just squeak that one out. 94.87 for Yuzuru Hanyu. So as of right now, he will take the lead.
Yeah, but his personal best is this year 110 or something.
Yeah.
So not. Right. Actually, that's the math. That's the 13,
There
14
you go.
points.
There's the points.
12 points or so.
Yuzuru, an uncharacteristic mistake in the program today. What role did the pressure of this environment play in that one mistake?
I have lots of experience, but I feel like Little didn't trust me, and I was feeling a little uncomfortable for the first jumps, so that's why.
Look ahead to the free program. What do you think is possible for you, and how, now that you've done the short program, do you think that will help with the nerves and all the pressure in this building?
I think this mistakes will paid off for the tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So we have one more day before the free program. So I'm doing best for the practice, and then I will be best condition for the long program too.
Enjoy the experience. Thanks for this. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.